we're going to unpack some incredibly intense relationship dynamics, the kind that usually stay completely hidden behind closed doors. Today, we're looking at a deeply powerful film that gives us a real lens into what happens when traditional expectations totally collide with severe real-world exhaustion. Grab your focus because we are going to take a very empathetic look at how easily a marriage can just fracture when invisible burdens are totally ignored.
Have you ever felt like you're literally carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders while everyone around you just keeps asking for more? It's a deeply relatable hook, isn't it? It perfectly captures that crushing, breathless exhaustion of being entirely depleted but still constantly demanded upon by the people closest to you. Keep that exact feeling in mind because it's absolutely central to the reality of the main character we're focusing on today. Her name is Kiki, and her story vividly shows us what actually happens when human limits are just completely disregarded. To really get into these vital lessons about partnership and mental health, we're going to use the dramatic narrative of the Nigerian movie Another One Loading. This film is brilliant. It's a heavy, super realistic depiction of a modern marriage that's basically buckling under the sheer weight of traditional roles. By looking at the breakdown between Kiki and her husband Obik, we can pull out some incredibly important takeaways about empathy, communication, and honestly, the absolute biological realities that we just cannot afford to ignore in our own relationships.
Okay, let's dive right into this by putting a name to exactly what Kiki's going through: maternal exhaustion. We're talking about severe physical and emotional depletion. It's what happens when you're trying to do it all: childcare, the house, everything, with literally zero backup. The film drops us right into Kiki's baseline reality. She's caring for a 5-month-old baby and a toddler under 2 at the exact same time. Plus, she's managing the whole household completely alone. We see her multitasking to the point where she actually burns a shoe while making stew, doing laundry, and dealing with crying kids who stubbornly refuse to sleep. She is having dizzy spells. She is in sheer survival mode. And yet, her husband Ubik walks in and starts complaining about misplaced files and uncombed hair. She's physically drained, but expected to operate like some flawless machine.
What's really fascinating here, well, maybe fascinating isn't the right word, more like deeply frustrating, is the massive empathy gap and these two totally competing realities living under one roof. On one side, we've got Obik's expectations. In his mind, hey, he goes to work, he provides financially, he doesn't cheat on his wife, so he's crushing it, right? He's performing his role perfectly. And because of that, he feels 100% entitled to physical intimacy on demand. But then, on the other side, we have Kiki's reality. She's in a state of severe physical exhaustion. She literally tells him, out loud, that her body hasn't healed from childbirth. But Obik just cannot reconcile his view of himself as this perfect husband with her actual biological inability to cater to his physical needs.
This old disconnect is perfectly captured in Obik's mindset. He literally tells her, "You should be grateful that you have a man like me in your life, a man that does not cheat." I mean, wow. It's almost become a catchphrase for him. Looking at it analytically, we see Obik weaponizing his basic faithfulness. He's using fidelity as a bargaining chip. In a really dark bit of irony, he genuinely views himself as some sort of national treasure for simply doing the bare minimum of coming home to his wife. And because of that, he demands physical affection as a transactional reward. He genuinely cannot comprehend why Kiki isn't endlessly grateful and physically available to him, totally ignoring the fact that she is physically breaking down right in front of him.
And this brilliantly illustrates the other side of that coin: Kiki's emotional plea. She tells him, point blank, "I am exhausted from carrying everybody's needs in this house but mine." She is desperately trying to get Obik to see her as a human being with absolute limits, not a robot. But when she tells him she isn't well, he just dismisses it as a fabricated excuse to punish him. You know, she isn't withholding intimacy out of malice. She is literally drowning in the demands of motherhood and household management. She's pleading with her partner to stop demanding from a cup that is entirely, completely empty. Then we reach the narrative turning point. The absolute breaking point hits when Kiki discovers she's pregnant again. This is mere months after giving birth. So now you introduce this immense physical fear on top of an already crushing emotional burden. Her body hasn't even recovered from her last delivery. She is exclusively breastfeeding, and now she's expected to grow another life? When she shares this terrifying news with Obik, instead of showing even a little concern for her well-being, he complains about the financial burden. He even angrily rejects the idea of using protective measures in his quote-unquote matrimonial home, further prioritizing his own access over her basic safety. The gravity of this whole situation is really underscored by a stark medical warning. The doctor tells them, "Your body has not had time to recover. If things continue this way, your body will force a stop that you will not like." This is such a crucial moment in the explainer because it totally grounds the emotional drama in cold, hard biological fact. The doctor makes it clear to Kiki and really tries to get it through to Abik that biological realities simply cannot be ignored. You can't debate them, you can't negotiate them away. A body under this much continuous strain will eventually crash.
But, of course, the situation quickly goes from bad to worse thanks to outside influences. When Kiki finally sets a boundary and moves to the guest room just to get like 1 hour of sleep, Abik actually calls in reinforcements, his pastor and Kiki's own mother. And these societal forces dangerously compound Kiki's stress. The pastor tells her that her body doesn't belong to her alone and that denying her husband is how Satan enters the home. And her mother, she tells her that as a woman, she simply has to endure to build your home. They take her legitimate exhaustion and her desperately needed physical boundaries and just label them as stubbornness and disrespect. They're demanding her submission entirely at the expense of her sanity and her health.
This immense, unyielding pressure leads directly to a devastating climax. The doctor's warning tragically comes true. Kiki suffers the sharp pain, collapses, and actually loses the pregnancy due to the severe strain. Lying there in a hospital bed, she delivers this absolutely heart-wrenching realization. She says, "I'm carrying this marriage on my shoulder. I am carrying the children. I am carrying everything, and I am disappearing." She even confesses to her mother that she is so completely depleted that when she hears her own children cry, her first reaction is fear, not love, because she has absolutely nothing left to give. It is a powerful, gut-wrenching confrontation of Abik's total lack of true partnership.
So the crucial point here is how we actually synthesize these themes into actionable wisdom for ourselves. There are some vital lessons in empathy and partnership that we can all take away from this dynamic. First off, we absolutely must deeply listen to the unspoken and the spoken struggles of our partners. We also need to completely redefine what provision means. It's not just bringing home a paycheck and remaining faithful. It requires active, daily, emotional, and physical support. Respecting bodily autonomy and recognizing absolute physical limits is just non-negotiable. And equally important is truly sharing the responsibility of carrying those invisible, exhausting burdens of household management and child rearing. It's like a giant puzzle, and both partners need to be holding the pieces.
The story does conclude with Abik finally experiencing an awakening. A tragic one, but an essential one. Facing the reality of his wife in a hospital bed, the severe consequences of his actions finally break through all that entitlement. He tells her, "I will enroll him in creche. I want to be here not just bodily, but present." He offers a genuine apology. He agrees to support her choice to tie her tubes to protect her health. We finally see his mindset shift, right? He goes from being merely a demanding provider to actually committing to being an active, empathetic participant in their shared life. I really want to leave you with this provocative thought today. In your own relationships, are you truly present to support the unseen burdens your partner carries? Because honestly, it's incredibly easy to fall into the trap of just doing what's expected on paper while completely missing the human being standing right in front of you. Challenge yourself to reevaluate your own dynamics. Are you demanding from an empty cup, or are you actually helping to fill it? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep reflecting, and I will see you next time.